Hey, it's Carl, and I am here with Patrick Geoghan, and he's from U.S. Home and Auto in Maryland. Independent agent, been working with him for a couple of years, and so thought he'd be a great interview for those of you listening today. And so, Patrick, thanks for joining us and taking a few moments out today.
Thank you, Carl.
Absolutely.
Happy to help out.
Well, let's dive into it. So, what led you to become an insurance agent?
Well, as for me personally, I had about 25 years in the mortgage business. In '08, when we went through the big crash of that industry, I worked in the wholesale on the mortgage side, and my client base, if you will, was these mortgage clients, and I leveraged that to get into insurance, and that was our primary focus and business plan when we stepped into this market, was to focus on the home insurance and look to round out with our other options that we have.
Okay, interesting. And so, moving into the insurance side, obviously you had the choice of, do you go captive with a legacy agency, or do you go independent, which is what you've done? What led you to go the independent route?
For me personally, I think it was a no-brainer in that because I'm dealing with clients in all different marketplaces, and looking for the best savings potential with our clients, the independent way obviously provided me with a lot more avenues to work with my clients and provide them the best product and best price to entice.
Excellent. So with that, just knowing that you would be independent, obviously there's things you're going to take on that a captive agent wouldn't. So would you say that there's a certain type of individual that's best suited for independent agents versus being a captive agent?
For sure. I think over this period of time, I've really focused my marketing. Initially, we tried a lot of different things, but initially we were where we got the most bang for our buck is working with clients that we're really focusing on the home ownership. A client that owns a home, and then knowing that they're going through the mortgage business and there are certain credit criteria to even qualify for a mortgage. You're bringing on a client who has a good credit score, who's a homeowner, and probably multi-car as well.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, that's good tips there.
Yeah.
So what are some of the biggest changes you've seen in the last 15 years since you've come on?
Well, again, working with the mortgage clients, the last 15 years have changed dramatically. When I first started working with these mortgage originators at the time back in 2008, probably through 2012, 2013, primarily they were working with refinances. They were refinancing clients, trying to get them into a better rate, a better program to save them money. So it was more sales driven from a savings perspective, or taking equity out of their property. Whereas the last several, probably 5 to 10 years, it's gone more in the direction of purchase money, clients that are actually going out and buying new homes versus the refinance market. Because of that, we used to be in as many as like 16 states, but now we're dealing with a much more focus on new purchases, and that's regionally driven. So we've actually reduced the amount of states that we're in at this point.
Okay, good. Yeah, so you've had to take a little different perspective on who your end client is.
That's correct.
So you can match up the right policy to what they're doing. Good.
Yep.
So how has your approach to growing your agency evolved, since you started? You just named part of that, because you focus on homes, the mortgage market has changed, so you've had to change your approach there. Any other places where you've had to kind of evolve your approach to growing the agency?
Yeah, again, because of my background, and even though I'm not in the mortgage business any longer, I've been in that related to that industry for well over 30 years now. Because of that, I understand there's a lot of highs and a lot of lows in that market. So if you're focused on just that market, you're going to have highs and lows in your business unless you have other things. So several years ago, we began a Google campaign, a Google review campaign in my agency, and where I've actually incentivized my people to request Google leads. And in doing that, that has brought up our web presence significantly. And then working with you to do backlinking and get out keywords in the market, we've developed what I would say is a very, very powerful strategy where we're gaining a lot of leads through Google, Bing, Yahoo, through the web, through web searches. And that's led a lot of clients to our web page, which has been a huge bump to us, especially right now, because there's a downturn in the mortgage market with rates being up and lack of inventory.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So with that being said, so what are the biggest challenges that you're facing in today's marketplace? So what's the thing that you're having to really figure out how to navigate in today's environment?
It's from an insurance perspective right now. The biggest challenge right now that we are dealing with as an agency is with insurance rates being up, just like every other industry. Clients think that we're immune to inflation, but it's anything but that. And now that COVID is over and insurance companies had frozen rate increases during that period, the companies are making it up. So we're spending a tremendous amount of time working with our existing clients, calling in and handling, why has my rate gone up? And again, the value of having being an independent is I'm able to then shop them with my other carriers to see what I can do to save them. But that challenge also brings opportunity, and because we can market to that same client who's not our client, saying, hey, have you had a chance to look at your rates lately? And believe me, there are a lot of people that are calling in because they have gotten increases with their existing carriers. So challenges bring opportunities as far as I'm concerned.
Good. Yeah, I think that's a great point to for anybody listening, the opportunity that presents itself in the midst of challenge. And so you covered a little bit about your digital marketing presence. Just overall, what role do you think digital marketing should play in an agent's business?
I think it's a huge part of that business, a lot more than it used to be. And nowadays, more and more people are spending time online and looking for ways, especially ways online to save money, and building that strong Google presence where they can go on. I'm sure you're the same as me. You go on any, if you're looking for a product, the first thing I usually do is do a search on that product. And I look for companies that have stellar review as far as the number of stars, and also the number of reviews. It's just like when you go to buy something on eBay, you're buying from somebody who's got a lot of sales and a good rating before you would buy somebody who's selling something that's a brand new product. So I know we're focusing a lot on all the platforms, whether it be Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. We're just now kind of looking to get into that, and then also just the web searches and making sure we're optimizing in all those categories. And that's where you guys have really come in and helped us out in those areas. Very good.
Very good. It's kind of switching gears here. What do you think are the biggest lessons you've learned in your career so far?
That I think we've kind of touched on it here, but you have to be flexible in the way you approach your business. You have to be able to look at and be able to understand that markets are going to change, times are going to change, and that you have to have all the avenues covered in order to make sure you're not going to take a downturn in your business. And I really feel like at this point, our agency is set up well to do all of that. We are just now launching a campaign for commercial. And I think commercial insurance, we haven't done much, but we're looking to get into that arena, and having a strong Google presence is going to help us there as well. Because again, most people looking for a commercial are probably going to do the same thing as personal lines people. They're going to look for good reviews and a good, and by having those good reviews and you come up organically or even paid in the higher levels, you're going to get a higher hit level and you're going to have more sales.
Good. So having navigated, the 2008 downturn, coming out of the mortgage industry, are there any lessons you kind of took away from that industry and have applied into your business today, especially as we head into kind of a similar environment?
I feel like I kind of covered most of that stuff. I think you just, the biggest lesson for me is you just have to have an open mind about it. Like, I know it's scary getting into an arena you don't know much about. And I think a lot of agents are scared about social media because they grew up at a different time or than what, a lot of and not really having a true understanding. But you have to jump into that arena and not be afraid of it and embrace it and understand how it's going to benefit you.
Absolutely. Good. So two final questions here for you. What advice would you give to a new agent who's starting out today? They've decided they're going to hit the insurance industry, trying to make those decisions, captive, not captive. Either way, what would you be telling them if you were sitting across the table from them?
Well, I think first of all, you have to understand what your core values are for what you are trying to establish in what your core values you want to set up for your agency are, right? And then once you've understood that, you can then build off of that and then establish what your target market is. If you don't have a good target market, or you can't set up your business plan to grow that business. So you need to understand what it is, what's going to give you that boost to get started, and how you can market to that. If you're just going to say, well, I'm going to just get into it, you're going to flounder. You have to have a clear understanding what it is that's going to help you grow your business. And it starts with, again, with values, what your core values are, establishing what that target market is, and then setting up your business plan according to that. And having the right partners is probably the last thing. People that companies you want to work with, people that are like-minded, that can are interested in working with you as well. So, okay,
good. And then finally, just because of the time of life, what would you say to that agent that they're kind of mid-career? Maybe they've kind of hit a ceiling. They need to go to the next level. What would be the things you would be advising them to do?
My personal advice is you want to establish a good peer group of individuals that are in this industry that are very successful, and that you can meet with them and try to emulate what they've done to grow their business. And that's what I'm kind of doing on the personal line side. I'm getting involved with peer groups that are very successful on the commercial side, and spending time with them, understanding what little things they've done in their industry to grow, and try to emulate that. I think that's more important than anything. If is to keep an open mind and get with people that are successful.
Excellent. And then just to kind of close this out, if you were to give your secret sauce, what's the formula that you think leads to the greatest success in your business?
Secret sauce. I just think it takes hard work and focus. And open-mindedness. You can't come into this industry and work halfway. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of time, and an understanding that that effort, that focus is going to lead to success and hopefully to a very good retirement. So that's the whole plan. And you got to set short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals, and you got to make sure you're doing everything you can to maintain those goals and shoot for the stars, if you will.
Excellent. Well, Patrick, thank you for your time with me today, and if you want to learn more about Patrick, you can visit their website, ushomeandauto.com, and you'll get a feel for some of the things that he's talked about today, some of the things that they're putting in place, and maybe some things that you can take away and apply to your own business. And so we look forward to talking with you again here in the near future.
Thank you.